is Patrick, as Michelle said. I'm the founder of Bay Area Creative and our high school spoken word program, Digital Storytellers.
Hi, my name is Mike Taylor. I run the program Spark Poetry that works in elementary and middle school classrooms. So traditionally in a classroom, you're supposed to sit down, be as quiet as possible, learn the next thing that's going to be on the next test, and bottle all of your enthusiasm.
Our curriculum is designed to be a bridge from students' lives to their lives outside of the classroom. Instead of asking them to change who they are and act like appropriate students, we ask them to be as much themselves as they can be.
So we noticed something, especially in elementary and middle school classrooms, is that students have this untapped energy, this energy that just will not go away as much as we throw them out to recess, bring them back. And what we decided to do in classrooms is use this energy that they have, use this excitement, and put it right back into a lesson. So, you're all in my 5th grade class, and we're going to play a game. I'm going to say a list of words. I want you to raise your hand if you can add a word to my list. I can say fire, fight, forage, food. Raise your hand.
Finger.
Feel.
Freedom.
Freedom. Frustration. Flabber. Let's try another one. Safe. Sword. Silly. Salivate. Saucy.
Sweet.
Charlene. Sweet.
Synchronicity.
Synchronicity.
Serendipity.
Serendipity.
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary. So, as we're firing off these words rapid fire, students are not thinking, how can I break down this literary device into something that I can understand? No, students are just saying, hey, how can I get the next word? How can I not get out in this game? How can I impress that person on the other side of the room? So, make poetry just like a sport. We're going to play another game now. You're still in my 5th grade class. And this game is called the perspective game. All right, I'm going to give you a subject. And I want you to think of an interesting perspective. For example, if I have trees, I can imagine what a bird might think about trees. Or what an axe might think about trees, or what fire might think about trees, or what trees might think about themselves. The subject is war. I might think about what a gun would think about war. Raise your hand. What's another perspective? What's a point of view that would say something about war? It's not you.
Europe.
What Europe?
The Earth.
What the Earth would think about war.
People.
What people would think about war.
A song.
What a bomb would think about war.
Buildings.
Buildings, or you said,
Corporation.
what corporations, what does money, what does profit think about war? And in the end, we're not trying to say the way that you gain perspective is imagining things. No, we really want students to learn to listen. And by doing this, they eventually write poems on the subjects that we're talking about using perspective and using alliteration. They join poetry teams and they all compete against each other. They have events where they meet people outside of the range of where they would have met people in their class or on the recess.
Thank you. So for our high school program called Digital Storytellers, focuses on spoken word poetry and filmmaking. We don't play as many games. Sometimes we do, but then they think what the hell do you think I'm in elementary school? So instead, we focus on really connecting what the students are writing about to what's going on outside of their lives. This idea that school should not be this hermetically sealed thing, separating them from the rest of the world. So then we think, all right, so they're writing these important things. How do we take this out into the world to be filmed? So a lot of times the poems then are based around themes that the students deal with outside of the class. In this case, we were doing a personification of the legal system. The workshop process focuses on building everything on youth input, on youth voice. So we start with a check-in question. What is one experience you or someone you know has had with the legal system? We then introduce a poetic device, in this case personification, and build on that with free writes, brainstorms, etc. So here's some examples of poems written about the personification of the legal system. They take their own structure. Spoken word poetry is meant to be written to fit your own natural speaking voice and your own communication styles. So we give the students options rather than requirements, options for different structures to use, different themes to use, how to use different poetic devices. The pedagogy focuses on celebrating the courage it takes to share something potent with the world around you. That if we are going to do this, we need to think about that. So then how do you turn a poem into a film so they can get, blasted out into the world so this message doesn't just live and die in one room? So what we do to do that, we teach them out about camera angles, costumes, props, extras, and B-roll. B-roll indicates images other than the master shot that poems they're focused on in the film. And here we have some B-roll ideas generated from lines, right there, and then some B-roll images generated from emotions. As far as the filming process goes, the student filmmakers collaborate with the professional videographer and the authors of the poem on each and every single shot. In order to film a poem, we first model setting up a shot, finding an angle, adjusting the camera, then we mess it all up, and we let them take a shot of it. And this becomes a back and forth process as we give notes on their choices and then make adjustments. We then teach other students how to fill the roles of director, sound engineer, set manager, and camera assistant. And we train the student poet in stamina, because they're going to say this poem about 30 times over 4 hours while we film the poem. Here's an example of a poem film. This is by Megan Palma from Jefferson High School. It is entirely filmed and edited by students that we worked with from that school.
When I tell you to look harder, I can see the hope diminishing from your eyes. They took your faith, but they will never take your pride. When I tell you to sit up straight, I am telling you to use your backbone that is built by my pride. Use this, because this strength has come from my father and his father and the ones before you. When I tell you to speak, you scream. You roar tsunamis and push landslides with your tongue. Do not question my commands, because this is how you survived. Do not question why your mother says back home instead of back in the Philippines. Do not question me and your culture, my love. Listen. When I tell you to remember, I need you to never forget where you come from, who you are, who I am. Before this, the jungle and mountains were our home. The lingo ran through our bloods like the river a few miles to the north, swift and clean.
Thank you all for listening.
So we really, thanks for joining our metaphorical playground in elementary school that looks like bringing games into the classroom.
And in high school, it looks like giving students a place to tell the world about their life experiences and perspectives. I think when students feel that what they're learning is relevant to their lives outside of the classroom, this box of a confined place of learning breaks down.